What is going on? My name is Mitch from Mitch Does Comics and Mayhem, and today I am very, very excited. We are going to be doing a figure review. This is our first figure review. I'm really excited to get into this because I have two very interesting figures that I'm very happy to be reviewing. Alright, let me start off by saying what I'm reviewing. Today am going to be reviewing Marvel Legends Deadpool figure and the Vogue Fire Deadpool. And without further ado, let's get into this. Alright, I'm going to start off with the Marvel Legends Deadpool, which is a Disney product, unfortunately. But I think that Disney did a very good job at designing this figure because they got all of his accessories pretty good. I mean, they did get his katanas well, and they did get his trademark, dual pistols, and they did get his Tusai. Now, my thing with this figure is it's more like the comic version. Anybody who has seen Deadpool in comics, Deadpool in the video game, and in the new trailer that just came out, this guy is probably more similar to that version of Deadpool, more to like the comic version. He's a little bit more, unequipped, and it looks like he's a little, ragtagged a little bit, but he still looks pretty serious and looks like he's ready to kick some ass. And I really do like this figure. I think he's a pretty good figure to have if if you're a collector, or if you want to just like shoot a stop motion video, because he's great for this. He's got tons of ball joints on him. And he's just a really, really well, detailed figure. I like his facial descriptions here. You can't really see that from here. He's got one eyebrow raised. And I do like his, his general setup. I do like his dual holsters here, his swords, and his Tusai. I think all of his gear is accurate to the figure. And all of these little details on him. He's got his Deadpool belt and all of these bullet holders, or mag holders as you would call them. And yeah, he's really good. Now, the things that really just were little things that I didn't typically care for is that some of the stuff on him does not, he cannot free from a holster. Like this knife, for instance. That is permanently stuck. I cannot get that out. If I do, I will break the figure and I won't be happy. Another thing I'm not really, it's, here's another example of, something that's not going to be free. There's a little knife up there. Another thing about this figure that I didn't particularly care for was, even though his guns are great, I think that they could be a little bit more well detailed. I don't really mean to nitpick because they are pretty cool. But I think they could be just done just a little bit better. I mean, it kind of looks very, very generic of a pistol. Sig Sauer 9mm pistol, if I believe what this is. But they did get that right. They did understand that he does have a dual-wield pistol. That's what I like. But one of my other pet peeves is that his swords tend to jiggle around in his hand. His hands don't really hold the sword right, and it doesn't stay straight if you want to move it. But if you want to pose him, if you want to use him, if you want to have him in a pose, it's good for that. But another one of my biggest pet peeves with this thing is that he doesn't stand up. His weight is not distributed through the figure, and it makes him off balance half the time, and I can't really stand him up on this table here. So I have to have him leaning on something constantly. I mean, his weight is not even in the figure, but other than that, he's a really, really well figure. I mean, if you're, like I said, if you're a collector, this would be a perfect piece to your edition. I think he's like $30. I got him. And he's well worth your money. I would definitely recommend him. I would rate him about an 8.5 out of 10. And yeah, that's basically it for the Marvel Legends. Okay, let's move on to the Vogue Fire Deadpool. Alright. What I'm really excited about. Here we have the Vogue Fire Deadpool. I was so excited when I got him in the mail today. It took me a few days to get him from the internet, but he is so worth the wait. I mean, I love this figure, even though he has a lot of differences from the traditional Deadpool. I really like this figure a lot. I think he's very well detailed. I mean, look at his boots. I mean, look at that. Whoever did this took a lot of time and effort to design the whole figure itself, because it's just full of detail. I mean, his facial accessories are very, very visible, and I like his tactical look on him. I love, their material change when they replicated the mesh on his uniform, and I do like his equipment. I really like his equipment, and one of the greatest things is that all of his equipment he can hold on the figure itself. I mean, he has a gun in here. He does have a holster for that right there. There's a little knife right there. And his trademark katanas, they have sheaths on them. And I find that awesome that they came with sheaths. Alright. He's not the most bendable figure in the world, so I wouldn't recommend him for doing any stop motion like videos, but he's a very good collector's piece. I mean, but be warned, he is fairly expensive. I mean, I got him for $30 off Amazon, but it took an additional $57 to get him over to the U.S. And my total came out to around $95. So I basically paid $100 for this figure, but every penny was worth it because he is so just well detailed and just freaking awesome. Alright, let me go into his actual accessories here. So he does have a pistol. One of the things I noticed right off the bat when I opened him up was that he only had one pistol. And I was like, what? Really? Because if you guys know Deadpool, he usually has dual-wielded pistols. And this, he only has one pistol. So, I'm like, really? Why couldn't you add a second pistol? But I think they did that is because this guy is not the traditional Deadpool. He's kind of someone else's look at Deadpool. I mean, he's not the original Deadpool. He's a modified version, but he's friggin' cool. So he does have a pistol right here, which I think is incredibly well detailed, and it fits into his hand very well. One of my other biggest pet peeves is that when guns don't fit into the figure's hands, it's really annoying to me. It's just like, ah. But this gun fits in very snugly to his hand. And I like the detail that they put on this gun especially, because I do think, if memory serves me right, this could either be the, let me see if you can get a little light in here. This is probably either the Lara Croft pistol from Tomb Raider, the RoboCop gun, or if you guys have ever seen John Wick, this bears a resemblance to John Wick's pistol. But that could be debated later. He does have a little knife right here. And this knife actually surprised me. It's actually pretty sharp, the top of it. Really sharp. I mean, it's really sharp plastic. And his katana's are without words awesome. I mean, they're really cool, and they fit into his hands well because he has interchangeable hands, which are a pain to get on at first, but they pay off because they're so awesome. What I didn't particularly like about this figure, I didn't particularly like that he came with a different set of hands, even though, those are, for the katanas, but I think it's just a little bit over the top that they couldn't just, add a single set of hands, but, they probably did that for good reason. And one of the other things is that he's not a very bendable figure. He's kind of more like if you were going to put him on a stand and rotate him kind of a figure. And another thing is he's really big in size compared to the other Deadpool. I mean, when I first got him in, I didn't expect him to be this big. I thought he was going to be around that big, but I was really surprised at his height. But he still looks fairly cool. I mean, if you guys were ever going to buy a figure like this, I would definitely recommend it. I mean, he's just pretty cool. I mean, it's just without words, he's awesome. I mean, Deadpool's awesome to begin with. But, yeah. I mean, I give this Deadpool, I give him a 9 out of 10 just for detail and because all his accessories could fit in his hands evenly and that he can hold them all on the figure. Like on the Deadpool, he came with, on the Marvel Legends Deadpool, he came with an assault rifle that didn't fit in either of his hands, so I kind of just like put that on the stand that he came with. But other than that, both these figures are really, 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 really good. I highly recommend getting any of these figures. They are so well worth your money. And that's basically it for this video. If you guys want to see more of action figure reviews or me doing games or reviews on movies, reactions, or vlogs or anything like that, please put it down in the comment section. And don't forget to like and subscribe. This is one of my first videos, guys, so I hope you guys like this. All right. I will see you all later. Peace.